You know, we first started going to war recently. There were, in the United States, there were 3 terror attacks, but there was one in a Virginia classroom where the guy yelled Allah Akbar, and then he started shooting all the students, and it ended. It turns out, they didn't report this the first couple of days, but that the students killed the guy in the classroom. The FBI said, in an act of bravery, undoubtedly saving many lives. And I was like, well, how did they kill him? And then after doing some digging, they used a knife. Somebody had a knife. One of the students had a little knife, and he saved other people's lives, you know. And a knife is not something you need to have like a license for. You don't got to go to a range. It's a lot more serious than like pepper spray or some like that. So one of those students, he had a knife, and he killed stabby, killed him. Stabby, you know what I mean? So then I started thinking to myself, well, I mean, you know, you could get a knife D, and then, you know, it's like people have knives. But I think the problem with me getting a knife, and this is why I'm making this video to ask this question, I think it's stabby is, I'm not ready. You got to be ready to stabby. If you're carrying a knife for that purpose, right, you got to be ready to just do stabby stab. You got to be ready to poke stab, get stabbed like you're get ready at Thanksgiving bird. You know what I mean? You got to be ready to, you know, stab. You got to be ready to do that. And I don't think I'm ready to do that. I don't think I would just, I don't care how much important it is. You got to stabby. I'm not ready to stabby. So can you stabby? You ready to, could you stabby? You know, I could shooty, right? I could shooty. Oh, this guy, shooty, blah, blah. I could shooty. Okay. I could, even if it was bad, I can imagine just strangly. You know, you're like, no. Fuck you, strangly, yes. But stabby, no. It's just, it seems gross. Stabby seems like, I don't know. Where are you stabbing? You know, where the how? And then, it seems nasty. I don't know if I could do it. What about y'all? Sound off in the comments. Sound off in the motherfucking comments. I assume there are limits to the size of knives and the types. You'd have to get all into that. And then, of course, I mean, I know there's no knife range, but in a way they should have a knife range. You know, you go someplace and there'd be like a dummy, but the dummy is made with like ham, and then you stab. I mean, I don't know about all that.